is to reiterate. It was a magical fabrication factory. It was originally intended to be run entirely by automatons. It is itself a giant machine for making, objects of a magic nature. The specifics of that are unknown to you at this point, at this time. It's real big. And it was never properly finished. It was never activated. So, the supposition is that it will remain so. But you know how things go.
Underground?
It is fully underground. It's a dwarven construction, so it's actually pretty deep underground. Because it would have produced a great deal of heat, and so it needed to be further underground. In the cold part of underground, and far away. So they they buried it pretty deep because the air is colder underground for the most part, until you get too much further underground. And there is an elaborate ventilation system also that comes off of it, and that's likely how you will be entering the actual machine. That's all you really know.
And where we ended the last session, we were talking about quests.
Yes.
And stuff.
You were talking about quests. You had a good dinner where you got to know each other a little better.
And our busboy.
And our busboy.
And also that busboy. Whose name you never got.
A terrible constitution roll.
Yes, she got
spilled some beans.
Tipsy. Yeah, but not all the beans.
Not all the beans.
But she nearly did.
She nearly did.
So, but there were some beans that were spilled.
Was there anything else that we went through at the end? Can you remind us? Just sort of say we finished dinner and went to bed.
Yeah, I would say you basically what happened is you stayed up pretty late at this dinner, just sort of enjoying each other's company, getting to know each other. And so by the time you got back to the heroes' headquarters, I think everybody probably went to bed. Unless you didn't, in which case we could roleplay that.
No, I think Moana went to bed.
Okay.
Nate wants to go back to bed right now.
Sorry.
Oh, but it's possible Nick stayed up to do one quick thing. Yeah. One hopefully quick thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, that depends. If they got back late, I mean, Sam was probably in the room, right?
Would it be what would you prefer if Sam wasn't in the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
This would be a thing that he would do if he got back late and was alone in the room.
Time to test your luck. Roll a dice.
What kind of die?
A d20.
I have rolled it. It didn't go great.
What'd you roll? Because mine didn't go great either.
I rolled a 5.
I rolled a 1. Which means that luck would have it that Sam, for whatever reason, isn't in her room this evening at this point yet. She's staying up somewhere.
These young people.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that like these kids are college age or just out of college age, so like they stay up
Yeah.
late.
Sure.
Sam especially, she's restless. I think Sam probably doesn't sleep a lot anyway.
Well, I think when Nix gets back and finds that the room is empty, he's just going to sit on his bed and pull off his amulet, which was under his shirt.
Yeah.
And just sort of tap on it thoughtfully a couple of times and look at it and say, I don't suppose you'd be willing to answer a few questions for me?
And then you hear a low bass line. And there's the door to your bedroom. There's a behind it.
Come in.
He opens the door and the door opens, and you can see it is in the hallway. You've seen this before.
Yep.
It's a dark space, and there are tongues of flame licking around the doors. And through this door steps your old pal Denzel. And he's yes.
And I just kind of look up at him and go, darling, I'm the only one in the room. There's no need for the theatrics.
Listen, that's how I do it, okay? I don't tell you how to wear your little pants and skirts and things. You don't tell me how to come in, how to be summoned, okay? You're lucky I'm even here.
Sure, well, that's a word for what I am for you being here. Anyway, I've just got a few questions. Shouldn't take much of your precious, precious time.
All right, baby, shoot.
First, we're going into this dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
And either they don't know or they're not telling me everything. We saw something at the end of the last dungeon.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
I got some ideas. The man upstairs, well, downstairs, he's got some more ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, he's no friend of mine or my associates. Let's say let's call him a rival.
A rival. It's an awfully big word coming from you.
Well, he's, I'm not gonna lie to you. I know. Surprising, but he's a bit of a big deal down in the underground. And well, he's gotten in the way of some of the man downstairs' business. Though at the same time, he maintains the order. So our relationship with him is complicated.
Sure. Don't suppose he has a name?
I don't know his true name, but I know what people call him.
And that is?
That's the Cave King.
The Cave King? He's a fairy tale.
No, boy. He's no fairy tale. He's the real deal. Been down there for longer than I've been around, certainly.
How is that possible?
Yeah, I'd like to know the same thing myself, honestly, but, you know, he's from the before times. You know, before the worms.
You
know, my man downstairs, he wasn't too active till after the worms. That's when he started doing his stuff. Though, I mean, you know, the before people, he interacted with them. He wasn't very big back then, but, you know, he took some of their little dolls and he made something new of them. Though he didn't introduce his creations. until those people were gone or changed. But me, I came shortly after that. As far as I remember, it was a long time ago.
Sure. Well, that's something to watch out for then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What else do you want to know?
Yeah. One other thing. What do you know about something called NIGH?
I don't know nothing about no ye. Never heard of him.
Supposed to be a god, maybe isn't.
Let's see. I know the names of all the gods, so ye doesn't ring a bell.
Yes. Do you know anything about the people of Vaga?
Yeah, I heard of them.
Yes, I had two. Never met one before, but apparently,
They're
Great Moana is one of them.
see. Yeah, man downstairs, you don't like them.
Well, he doesn't like anything with the persuasion, and that's fine, but...
Well, what I mean is, he doesn't like people, lambs that stray from the flock, as it were. So, yeah, he'd rather they come back into the fold. And,
Wait.
it'd be helpful to me too, actually. What?
You're saying that they're... Oh, the lamb. Sure, can't get a straight answer from you about anything, can I?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
Not how I do. You know that, boy. We've been together how long? A few years now.
Long enough. All right. Well,
and of course that means you know how this works.
Yeah. I suppose I do.
Means I done something for you. Now you do a little something for old Denzel.
This is so creepy.
Ask away, but remember where the line is.
I remember. I don't do nothing to your little friend. We discussed this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm just deciding which of what avenue to take. You caught me by surprise. Let's see. Strategizing, as it were. All right. Well, since I don't have information about this Yi fella, I want you to bring me information about it. This is unusual, and well, Vager's kind of a blind spot. And I'd like to see a little more clearly. I don't know, the man downstairs would be happy to have that information, and when he's happy, well, things work out great for your friend Denzel. Also, that's one thing. The other thing is, well, just, make sure you get friendly with the Azamar girl.
Hell, I helped her dress for the evening. I think we're well on our way.
Good. Because, well, let's say she's certainly not working in accordance with my plans and my associates' plans. So, also, information is what I need. Find out what her angle is too. Find out about Guy and find out what Ilmater wants.
As far as I've been told so far, all Ilmater wants is for this team to stay alive.
Well, find out why.
Fair enough.
I'll expect some answers next time we talk.
Sure, can't come too soon, Des.
It's always a pleasure to see you, baby. Now then, anything else you need for your friend?
No, that should take care of it. I can look into the rest myself.
Well, all right then. Oh, get my cigarettes back.
What?
My cigarettes. Your friend took them. Get them back.
Which one?
I don't know what. I don't know which one. Find out. Get them back. I need them.
Fine.
All right. Well, catch you later.
And you have a lovely evening, or whatever it is you measure time by.
It's like clockwork. Every morning they start screaming down there. And then they keep screaming. You know, they don't actually stop screaming. Huh, I guess we don't measure time that well after all. Oh, well, bye. Later. And then he just hops into the door, and the door slams shut behind him.
Magnificent role played.
Sorry, you caught me on the spot as far as.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, I put myself. No, it's okay. I put myself there because I was like, he's definitely like he's what he is. He needs to. He needs to ask for something for return. He doesn't do things for free. Okay, yeah.
Man, that second question totally wasn't worth it. I fucked up. All right, I'm going to bed.
You got to be careful. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else want to do something in the evening, or should we go to the next day?
I was gonna, I guess, try to follow up with Nearmore, but since Nearmore is neither here nor more,
that's true.
You can't do that.
Val had talked about. I guess I haven't heard from Val. I guess she just had something to do. I don't know. She didn't tell me. But Val was talking about doing like a one-on-one thing. But that would be tricky to arrange. But Nate, if there is any point when you have a time that you can meet up, that is, doable. It may not be doable, but
for an off session,
for a one-on-one session with Val and obviously me, we'll see if we can arrange that.
Okay.
I know it's difficult with the dramatic time difference, so it might not be possible.
You know what it was about? Like the rough.
I think Val has some ideas of what she wants to do. She basically just wants a one-on-one sort of interaction between Niramore and Breve. But we could also we can tie that into a future session as well. So I'm sure. I thought we were going to get a little bit of that today, but she didn't show up. So that's on her. I'm trying to see if she actually mentioned it, and I just lost the message or something.
She did have a list she gave us of all the derby dates.
Yeah, this might be one of them. I'll have to go back and check. It's whatever. I'm not holding any grudges. We'll just continue on. Yeah, so it's the next day. And you have one day before the dungeon. How are you going to use this day? What are you going to do? I know Breve has to pick up something.
My arrows.
Your arrows, your very special arrows. I don't have stats for yet, but I can get you those. I'm gonna give you all the stats for the arrows along with the stats for the your new gauntlets and gloves and everything. So don't worry, it's a coming.
Hey, we've been talking about this for a little bit, but I want to enroll Bix in school.
Right.
That needs to happen.
Okay. Yes.
With a little sailor uniform.
Okay. So Heroes HQ is it's in a town, which I haven't fully designed yet. But we're going to call that town. But I can give you some details about it. We're going to call the town of Upper Bridge.
Upper Bridge.
Copper Bridge.
Copper Bridge. Copper Bridge.
Because there is a bridge on it. In the middle of this town, there's a river that goes through the city. And there's a bridge, and the entire sort of walkway of the bridge is just like lined up copper coins that cover the whole bridge, and they're sort of magically sealed into the bridge, so you can't take them.
Many have tried.
Many have tried. So you have a few school options.
Okay.
And your options are Copperbridge Early Prep. The Rainbow Bridge Elementalist School.
Okay.
And the last one is the Edgewood School.
Okay.
For
tadpoles?
Yeah, just specifically for tadpoles.
So here's how Moana's going to
call it the Edgewood School, and I'll give you a description of it. Yeah.
Okay. It would be a bonus if the school is like a little progressive, because I think that's kind of how they roll. Yeah. Moana and Bix. But honestly, Moana's only judge of how good a school may or may not be is the size of their book collection.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just kids' books, like that's what she's going to be looking for when they visit each of the schools. Which we don't need to role play, but like I assume it happened.
Yeah. So let's say she goes to each of the schools, and I'll describe each school to you. So Copperbridge Early Prep is a it's probably it's sort of the premier school of the premier like preschool elementary type school of the school. It is it's the most expensive of the three schools. Mm-hmm. They have a very focused approach. They're all about giving your child a head start, and they're very much they believe in the importance of routine, and the importance of giving your child access to as much information as they can. Their approach is a little more regimented. It's not like harsh because it's like a school for children, but it's it is, the idea is that their school is going to give your child access to innovative educational methods, and they like to produce young scholars, essentially.
I like this one.
So they are a very thorough school. It actually reminds you a little bit of how things are run in the Trism.
Yep.
Because of just how like
sort of rigorous
it is. Yeah. It really is. It's like the school that, you know, if you want your kid to get into like a better magical high school and eventually get into like one of the colleges at one of the colleges at Paisley or at Loreport, then this is the place where people send them.
Bit of a prep school.
Yeah. Rainbow Bridge Elementalist is an elementalist-run school, so there is a religious element to it. It's sort of like a Quaker school, and it's sort of like a Montessori. It's very much about children sort of exploring on their own. It's very much about children being children. Also, I should mention the Copperbridge Early Prep has a very extensive library with a lot of different subject matter. Whereas Rainbow Bridge
might have more, I imagine, like creative tools.
Yes, so Elementalists, they're about creativity and skill building. They sort of they're more of an arts-oriented school. And like I said, they're a little more self-guided. They kind of just give the tools that kids can explore, and they let them explore them on their own. Very much in a Montessori style. You know, the great magical education wizard, Maria Montessori. It is the library is more child-focused. The highest sort of reading level in that is sort of like 5th grade.
Okay.
And it is like the library is sort of an exploration space. It's like if you ever go into a big bookstore with a really nice children's section, it's got that vibe.
Yep.
You know, where there's like a fake tree they can read under, and there's like a lot of different like pleasant.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's very pleasant and it's very kid friendly. And that's more what the Rainbow Bridge Elementalist School is like. And then the Edgewood School is a school specifically to now this school has a more particular focus. This was created by the Edgewood family, a name that may be familiar to you. And it was to help encourage young magic users. So people who have a magic talent, or people with a magic people who either have an early ability to use magic or to like learn about magic, young prodigies of like wizard magic, people with certain, who seem to have been blessed with certain cleric connections to some deities, people who are sorcerers who seem to have an inherent power about them. Basically, it's like Xavier's School for the Gifted, essentially. but it's also preschool, elementary school. So it's like, kids who are magical.
Oh, Baby X-Men.
Yeah, it's Baby X-Men, essentially.
I'd read that comic.
Yeah, and they do two things, which is they encourage and nurture children with with magic potential, who are showing signs of being sort of magically inclined, and they so those are the students that tend to get in more easily. The other students are students whose families want to sort of help them find their magical potential, and those are the ones who they basically have to see something in your child that they can work with, either an aptitude for learning,
see that spark, and maybe
or a spark of magic. Yeah,
the literal spark.
Yeah, for some kids it is literally a spark. I would say Copperbridge is definitely the hardest to get into. Edgewood, you do have a connection to this school, and they'd have to see Bix to decide. And Rainbow Bridge is sort of the middle of the road in terms of how easy it would be to get in.
Okay, interesting. Because Tay brought up a good question of like, did Colin go to Copperbridge?
No, so this school, that's a good question. Colin, this school was also like the Edgewood school was specifically brought to this community because Copperbridge was sort of previously kind of a struggling community. Copperbridge is actually where Colin's father was originally from, and he, when he became Archmage, he decided to go back to the community he grew up in, which happened to be in Masmeraz. It was a struggling sort of human-based community that just was needed a little help, and so he sort of helped build this community. Some people took advantage of that, the growing economic status, and a new sort of class of people moved in, so it actually ended up sort of kind of pushing back on the good that Edgewood did. This is social economic dynamics. It's complex, but the Edgewood School was basically created so that children with magical talent would have a head start that Colin's father didn't have. So this was actually built after Colin was old enough to go there, essentially. Colin was mostly homeschooled until he got to an age where he would go to he had like a series of like tutors and governesses who taught him various skills, as well as his dad. So that's to answer that question.
All right.
But he has you would have a in with that school simply because Colin is an Edgewood.
Yep. I think we're going to. I understand that the
and that's sorry, I forgot to mention that library is mostly magic-based texts. It's pretty big, almost as big as the Copperbridge early prep, and it's mostly magic focused.
Okay. I don't think it's a great idea to send Bix to the Edgewood School on account of I'm not like Moana's just like not confident that the magic that Bix is in touch with is necessarily something that she wants them to develop.
Fair enough.
But maybe in the back of her mind, she also thinks the school might help them to channel something or find something good, make good use of the magic if there is any. I think her obvious first choice would be the Copper Bridge prep.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how closely it reminds her of how she was raised, and but in a healthy way, some of the better things of that, and appreciates their library size. So, all right, how does applying for school work in this?
So having you interview for all three would be a whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to leave it to the dice.
Okay.
And I'll just sort of tell you how things went. Okay. So I'm going to have you roll. I'm going to roll for Bix because he's obviously got to be there. I have ideas what Bix's stats are. And they've obviously got to be there. And I will go through a series of rolls for you to do.
Okay.
So the first roll is going to be a preliminary sort of interview. Actually, it's going to be initiative because you have to basically be on time to a place.
Okay. Okay.
So, and I'm gonna roll for Bix too to see if he gets in your way.
Okay.
If he makes it work, because having a child, it's difficult.
Yep.
Okay, what'd you roll? 13?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Which school is this at, by the
way? This is which one do you want to do first?
Is this for all of them? Let's do them in order you read them.
Okay. So this one's for Copperbridge. So I think the result is that roll against. So for this one, Bix is just being difficult one morning when you have to go. So you're there's like a line for the new sort of school year, which starts in the middle of the summer, I guess. Let's just go or like new. Basically, they have an open house for new applicants, and so you kind of get there late. There's a lot of people who end up going before you, and that doesn't reflect super well on you as far as this interview goes.
Okay.
So we're gonna have you roll now charisma for your interview.
Oh, that is 18.
What is it?
18.
18. Okay, so they really like you. Let's see if they like Bix. All right. Bix is a little shy, but they like the cut of your jib. You're very charismatic. You talk up Bix in a really good way, and they're not surprised by seeing sort of shy kids. That's not unusual to see a kid being a little shy, and that their parents have to sort of do most of the talking in these situations. So it's not unusual. And Bix chimes up with a few things that I think they're impressed by. So next we're going to have Bix roll to do a sort of a test that they're going to have him do. But actually, I'll have you roll to coach him first.
Okay. What would that be? Intelligence?
So roll intelligence, yeah.
17.
Okay, so he's going to have advantage on that one.
Cool.
Which is good because he didn't do great. So their stuff's a lot for him. It's he's kind of a carefree. I keep misgendering your child. Sorry. They're kind of a carefree little child, and they've only been alive for they've done a lot of reading, but they've only been alive for like a month, right? So
It's been longer than a month. Come on.
They've only been around for like a couple months, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they, they've only been sort of sentient for a portion of that time. So the whole situation's a little overwhelming, and the test process is a little overwhelming. So they don't do as well as they could have. You get the impression at the end of it that it seems like this. You get the impression more from Bix than from the actual the application board that you're discussing things with. That this place is a little intense for Bix.
Okay.
It's possible Bix might not be happy here, but you don't really know for sure. It's a very Moana place, but that doesn't mean it's a Bix place.
That's right.
And part of being a parent is realizing that your child has a different personality from your own.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to try the Rainbow Bridge Elementalist?
Let's do it.
Okay. Roll initiative.
9.
Okay. So I think both of you are kind of slow today.
Does that faze them at this school, though?
They are kind of lax about it. They're very much a, move at your own pace. But this is despite being the slightly easier school to get into Copperbridge, there are a lot of people in Copperbridge who and the surrounding areas who really believe in the philosophy of this school. So it's actually a very popular school. So you're getting there late doesn't necessarily reflect badly on you, but it gives other applicants more of an advantage.
Okay.
I would say. Okay. So let's do charisma.
That's a 22.
Okay, you and Bix really nail it. Bix, I think the environment is a little more colorful, a little more what Bix is interested in. Bix sees a lot of instruments on display, and so a lot of Bix's creativity comes out. They talk about things they've sung and drawn, and they talk about drawing maps and about very enthusiastically about your own adventures. They kind of brag about you, but you are also just basically painting a glowing picture of your child who is living up to that picture. So they're actually pretty impressed by the interview portion.
Awesome.
They seem very happy about that. Now test portion, and you can roll to Coach Bix.
11.
11. Okay. Bix is gonna just have a regular roll then, without advantage. Bix is still not apparently a great tester.
Okay.
I think at this point, it's almost the opposite problem. There's so much for Bix to see that they kind of get stuck and they don't know really what to do and where to go. This test is more of they're put in a room, again, Montessori style, to see what they'll do. And there's so much stuff that they can't really figure out. They don't really know where to go. And they're sort of stuck in indecisiveness.
Okay.
So that didn't reflect great, but their interview went really well. So you get the impression that the place is exciting, but sort of intimidating for a different reason for Bix. But also, that Bix can be shy. So, but I would say they're very friendly there, very peppy.
Cool.
And you go out feeling like they liked you and Bix, at least as people.
All right.
If not as a potential student, as student's parent. And the Edgewood School. All right. We'll
All
see
right.
if you're on time.
14.
14. Okay. Bix is not trouble this time. I think that you guys have been to a couple schools now. Bix is getting the idea
Okay.
that being on time is important. I don't think you're the first there, but you're not late.
Okay.
And the turnout is actually kind of smaller here. I think you get the sense that this is kind of still the newest, still sort of a newer school. I mean, the Copperbridge Early Prep is actually the newest school in the town. The Edgewood School was created as part of this sort of initiative to make the school better, and the Copperbridge School sort of popped up once some rich people started moving in and gentrifying the dang place. But whereas Rainbow Elementalists, I think, was probably here. They were probably here before the Edgewood started coming in. They were already an effort to sort of improve this community. And you get the sense that the school is kind of intimidating to regular people.
Okay.
But the people there the people that you do see in there seem very very proud of their children. They're like, there is a sense that like their children are going to be very important people when they grow up.
Cool.
There's a lot of pride, even though it's a smaller turnout.
Nice.
Yeah. And now interview portion.
Okay. 15.
Okay. So it's a pretty good interview. It's not as good as the last one, but again, I think Bix, they're just getting used to this process now. They talk about magic in a way that it's very fascinating to them. They've seen now a good deal of magic, and they like learning about it, and they're very enthusiastic. So I think that that impresses the board that you're talking to, the people you're interviewing with. So I think it's a pretty good interview.
Okay.
Now you can coach Bix on the test.
That is a 22.
Okay, that's good. You got Bix has advantage. So Bix doesn't seem to show any. This test is a little more eclectic and a little. They're testing things that you look at and you're not really sure what it is they're testing. They're like sort of giving Bix a number of components and having Bix follow some instructions on how to ways to move and things to say. And seeing if Bix, they're giving Bix like magical objects to hold to see what happens when Bix has this object in their hands. And nothing seems to be really doing much.
Okay.
Bix definitely doesn't seem to have a obvious natural aptitude for magic. But they are I think they definitely show like a fascination with the things that they're there's a lot of curiosity, and they ask Bix asks a lot of questions during the interview process. So I think that
helps a little bit.
That helps a little bit. That's taken positively. Yeah. And I think you coached Bix sort of to be more curious.
Yeah.
About things. That was something you encouraged Bix to do, to ask a lot of questions. And I think that, if nothing else, impresses them. But Bix doesn't, like I said, doesn't show like an obvious aptitude for magic. And those are the schools.
So where does Bix actually get in?
So Gonna make a couple more rolls.
Just a
Okay. All right. So I think that Copperbridge Early Prep is unfortunately not interested in Bix.
okay.
You get you receive a very lovely, beautifully written letter of rejection. That it says in very sort of polite, passive-aggressive tones that they think Copperbridge may not be well suited to Bix's disposition. It's that kind of thing. You also get the sense that Bix is the only. They were. The fact that you are a tiefling with a little frog for a kid, despite your fame, which is definitely playing into things.
Still might not have been in your comfort zone.
They're still like a little hesitant about that.
Okay.
They didn't, they I think the fact that you got in the door was partially a result of that fame that you have, but I don't think they were super impressed by you or Bix. Unfortunately.
Well, that's
Sorry. Rainbow Bridge really liked you. They really liked Bix. They were very enthusiastic. You got a sort of a hand-delivered letter of acceptance.
Wow.
And they seemed very enthusiastic about teaching Bix. Edgewood also accepted. They said that they said that they did see potential in Bix, that they had noticed in their curiosity and in the way they interacted during the test a subtle leaning towards magic, which they believe could flourish into a significant talent. And they, based on Bix's charisma, they recommended that Bix start in the Bard program at Edgewood. Because they believe that Bix, that though Bix didn't show aptitude for sort of a more academic style of magic learning, that Bix may have Bix's approach to things and Bix's sort of general charisma could make them a talented bard, though they would have to see. But that it was definitely an acceptance letter.
Cool. I have a preference. I wonder if Bix does.
And they also you did use your connection to Colin, and that definitely had some gravitas.
You think that might help us get like a scholarship or something?
It might.
For all of it. Okay.
Edgewood is actually a free school. That is the other thing. So Edgewood is a free school. Copperbridge is obviously a private school. Rainbow Bridge isn't free, but it's not as expensive as Copperbridge.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I think like given that, I think Moana has a preference. But she's curious to check in with Bix first. So I show both of the envelopes and the little admissions packets to Bix with the letters and say, Good news, little one. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm from Futurama. Good news, little one.
Good news. Just shreds, you say.
Good news, little one. You've been admitted into 2 schools. It's up to you now. Which of these 2 schools would you prefer?
I don't know. Rainbow Bridge, it seemed like it was a lot of fun.
Yes.
There was a lot to see, and there were so many other children. And Edgewood, they said I might be a powerful wizard. and I want to learn magic like what Mama does, and like what Fanoa does, and Eldorian. And it would be really cool to learn magic, I think.
Then would you like to go there?
I don't know. It's hard to decide.
How about this, little? We can start you at the school, and if you don't like it, that's okay. We'll go to the other one.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay.
Will there be other children there?
Yes, little one, there will be other children there.
Do you think they'll want to be my friend?
I think they'll all want to be your friend.
I didn't see any other people who looked like me at the schools.
I just
Mama,
get up. Yeah?
Why do I look so different from everyone?
Fuck, I was unprepared to have this conversation.
That's fucking parenthood.
Yeah.
I don't
My
look
little
like
one.
you or any of the jewel crabs.
All of the jewel crabs look different, and some of us have big families of people who look a lot like us. You, my friend, my friend. Good God, no.
You, my friend.
You, my little one.
My little child.
You are unique in all the world. There are people who look like you, and you will meet them. We will meet them together. But in this area we are in, there's nobody quite like you, and that's a good thing and a beautiful thing, and I love you for being exactly who you are.
I love you too, Mama. Okay.
I kiss them on their slimy little head.
Aw, it is slimy.
It is.
But it's nice. You know, when you get it right down to it, all kids are slimy. Bix is just a little extra slimy.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, again, just being a parent. Okay. So you've chosen the Edgewood School?
Yes.
Okay.
Enroll. I assume this has been happening over the course of at least a couple of days.
Yeah, it's probably been the week. Yeah. This is something you've been probably doing over the last few days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to do? Well, that's too bad. We've already done a scene with you. It's Breeve's turn.
All right.
So, flashback to after dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I leave the restaurant. Just unconsciously, I pull out the packet of smokes.
Mm-hmm.
And I just start sucking on one of them because I don't want, my body's a temple.
Wait, do you have
It's got Olive Constance's shit.
Oh, I thought she
gave
only
it to me to hold.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'm mostly just
all of the stuff in the bag.
Yeah, I've got everyone's
Ask
shit.
for it back. I think Constance was more interested in the taking than the having.
Yeah, it's the act.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thrill.
So
if memory serves, she didn't even think about it or even really plan to do it.
No,
it just happened.
Instinct.
Old habits,
So anyways, he's just like sucking on one of them, slowly ruining all of the cigarettes with just mouth. And I don't know quite how to do this, but I want to cross paths.
It tastes a little bit spicy.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like a little spicy. It's weird. Like it's coated in jalapeno dust.
What kind of dust?
Jalapeno dust.
Jalapeno.
Oh, like an F on that one. Yeah. Jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
Jalapeno. It's a magical spice that exists in this world.
Perfect.
Jalapeno.
All right. Well, I guess I'll grow to love it. So yeah, I'm hoping to somewhat intentionally cross paths with Eldorian. I don't know if she would be lingering or where she would be, but
yeah. How do you want? Do you want to just? I think you guys all start heading home, and she's just like, she's just settling up the bill. So she's sort of, if you're just sort of standing outside the restaurant, she's on her way out. She's just, like I said, she's settling up the bill with Caleb, saying a few last things to him, and so she's sort of she's probably the last one out.
Cool. Okay.
So you can sort of catch her on her way out if you want.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So I'm just sort of chilling outside.
And she sees you. She steps out and she sees you with the cigarette in your mouth, and she said, "Reeve, I didn't know you smoke."
I don't. I chew. I suck, but I don't smoke.
You don't suck, buddy.
You suck. No, you don't. You're great. Reeve is great. Oh, okay. No, I quit years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just starting, so I'll quit sometime.
Listen, it's harder than you think.
You gotta work up to it.
Gotta work up to quitting.
Work up to quitting.
Gotta start before you can quit.
We haven't really had to catch up after the trial and all that. How are you doing?
I'm I don't know, Reeve, I'm getting by. Trying to keep busy.
Yeah.
It hasn't been an easy couple of days. It was embarrassing more than anything, letting you and everyone see me like that. You get your whole story spilled out in front of people who don't, you've been sort of intentionally keeping it from. It's not that I don't trust you. It's more like, I'm supposed to be your manager. I was trying to keep things professional. I don't know. Not that I did much of that. So it's been rough, I'd say.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I think I speak for everyone in the group when I say that you're more than just a manager. You're more than just a business partner. Like, I think you're part of our family, and God, I shouldn't have these feelings, but I still have so much anger and rage in me from that whole ordeal. The paladin in me wants me to just let it go and move on, but there's just I can't get past it.
Well, Brief, I don't think that's necessarily wrong. I'm fucking mad.
Yeah.
I've never been so mad in my whole life. I'm trying to push it all into, the competition, since that's, the chance that we have to show those fuckers taste of their own medicine. But Riva, I want to thank you. You were amazing up there on the stand. Defending everyone and me, and I didn't know you could do that. What was that voice you were doing? Well, it was. Listen, it was persuasive. I fully bought into it. So, yeah, for the part of the trial that I was awake for, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're a paladin, so I guess I don't really know what paladins. Are you not supposed to get angry?
It's complicated.
Didn't you say you were, I remember you talking about your oath. It was all about, life, right? Being alive.
There's many paths we walk, but it always comes back to a core belief of, just doing right in the world, however that kind of manifests. But I can't help feeling like I let everyone down. I feel like I didn't accomplish what you needed me to do during that. And it's burning me up inside, and I want vengeance. I know I shouldn't, but I want some sort of, is there something we can do? And the green coats, I don't know anything about them. I don't know anything about most of the people that were there, but I feel like, is there a way that we can, I hate to even pose this, but like espionage, can we find out about them and find a way to stop them? Do you know anyone that could kind of infiltrate?
Mm-hmm. It's tricky, because I made a guess Sanya Gwash, which means I technically can't do any harm to them until, not direct harm, until the competition's over.
Can we just find out what they're up to? Can we just keep tabs on them so this doesn't happen again? I don't want to be blindsided like we were.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, it'd be nice to know what they're all up to. I don't really know.
I mean, I don't know this town. Is there like a secret order of hired, not necessarily assassins, but just sort of information gatherers that we could seek out?
Well, now that you mention it, I might know someone who we could talk to. What time is it? Yeah, come with me, Brief.
Is this someone you trust? Is this, because I mean
trust is a funny word. This is someone who is good at getting information. I've worked with them before. And I believe they can be trusted to get information. That's what I can say.
We're going on an adventure.
All I know is I've got to do something, so I'm willing to try.
It could be it does seem like it would be a good idea to see. This is embarrassing. But you know what? I've been trying to be more transparent with you, so I'll tell you. So, Aldeath.
Yep.
You know how I was obsessed with her?
Right.
Well, during that time I contracted someone to just keep tabs on her, get me sort of information about her. I'm not proud of it. I essentially had someone spy on her just to make sure that, I don't know what, I just wanted to know what she was up to. So we're going to talk to them now. And you're brought. She brings you to through the portal, and she actually brings you to So you're actually still in Torchtown. So it's actually here. She brings you to the sort of edge of Torchtown, and there is. She actually no, better. She brings you past Torchtown, further down the Hall of Torches. And behind, in sort of the shadow of one of the torchbearers, who is Scavendius the Sneaky.
Yes.
There is just like a little sort of dive, and it has a thing on it, and it's in the sort of the heel of the statue itself, and sort of the stuff below it, and the dive, this sort of pub dive bar place is called Scavendius's Heel, and you go in, and she goes up to the bartender, who is an old dwarf, with one eye, and she says, "Hey, hold on, I'm just looking at names. I'm gonna actually use the fucking book to come up with a name. Is Gebetto in?" And the dwarf says, "Yeah, he's in the back card shocking with those fellas over there." And you see in the back there is a group of dwarves and a human, and amongst them is a purple-haired gnome who is very frantically sort of going back and forth, pouring drinks for these guys, and all the while this is during a card game, and you can see from a distance that this guy is like, using a lot of sleight of hand, and sort of slipping cards here and there, while he's refilling drinks, while they're refilling drinks, and they are just moving very quickly around this table, but also very casually. And Eldorian goes up and she says, "Gebetto, do you have a moment?" And Gebetto looks over, and Gebetto looks like this. Boo, boo, boo. Screen share.
Gonna ask what kind of critter he is.
A gnome.
Which gnome?
This is Gebetto.
Cool.
And Gebetto looks over at Dorian and says, Dorian, pleasure to see you tonight. I'm just in the middle of this card game. Hold on. And Gebetto rubs his hands and says, all right, then. Time to show your cards, fellows. And Gebetto puts down just a royal flush. And Gebetto says, looks like I won. And the human says, wait a second, we're not even playing poker. You cheating? And one of the dwarves grabs Gebetto's arm and just pulls down his sleeve, and all these cards just tumble out of their sleeve. And Gebetto says, just a joke. Well, if you'd excuse me, I have to talk to a client. I'll talk to you fellas later. Bye. And he's like, you're not getting away this time, Gebetto. You're going to give us our money. Oh, why? I don't have... you'll have to talk to my... And Gebetto looks up at Breve, who is much, much taller. And sort of gives you a look over, smiles, and says, my friend here has all the money you need. You can talk to him. And Gebetto pats you on the thigh, because that's as high as Gebetto can really reach. And it just says, go ahead, tell them, where my money is. And Gebetto starts to make their way to the door.
Am I quick enough to grab it, Geppetto?
Give me a dexterity check.
You gotta throw a dice. What is this game that involves throwing dice?
Right? Weird.
What's my stats in there?
Oh. What are you rolling?
Dexterity.
You have a -1 to dex.
Bonus.
Oh no!
I didn't quite catch him.
What?
So Nate rolled a 1, and he has -1. Just to add in.
So Breve doesn't even come close. And is grabbed by the burliest of the dwarves and sort of spun around. And the dwarf says, so where's the money? Looking up at you like dwarves do with their beards. This dwarf's got like a big bristly mustache. He says, where's the money? The money!
Sir, what's your name?
My name? It's Brindle.
Brindle.
Brindleworth Clivehammer.
Brindleworth Clivehammer. I love that name.
My name. Thank you. I'm one of the Mount Pelnor Clivehammers, I'll have you know.
Of course you are.
So, do you have the little idiot's money or what?
I give him a big.
I trust orcs about half as much as I trust gnomes, so you better give me that money.
Oh, I'm with you there, buddy. I'm with you there. Do I happen to look familiar to you? Have you maybe seen my face before? And I give him even a bigger grin.
Work it, Brave.
And one of the other guys at the table says, Brindle, are you recognized? It's one of the jewel crabs. You're one of the jewel crabs? Wow. I mean, I'm more of a Silver Mount 4 fan, but what happened to them?
They were respected
that
for a while.
Aasimar would have gone crazy like that, huh? Anyway, what do you want?
So
you're famous.
I'm pretty well known. I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Sure. I could get you some gold. I could get you some jewels. Whatever. All right. Sorry. The voice is killing me again.
Okay. The voice that I'm doing is actually also rough.
God, what is it? Oh my God.
Hey,
but,
could you...
Is there something maybe you'd want more than jewels or gold? Maybe I don't know.
Do you know the Silver Mount 4? I'd love to meet the Silver Mount 4. Do you know?
Hey, You know, I know everyone in the competition. I'm sure I could make this happen.
I could rattle off
roll a
names
deception roll.
easily.
Do I get some maybe backup help from
You
Eldarian?
do it with advantage because you are in the competition and you do have some fame on your side.
Yeah.
So there's an air of credibility.
I don't think I need to roll with advantage because I rolled a 19.
Roll twice. You can do 20. All
Yeah,
right.
that's
No,
a
yep.
So 19?
Yeah.
So what do you
19.
say? So okay. So he looks like he believes you. All right.
Cool.
Where should I meet him? Where should I go?
My good friend, these things take time.
It's late, right?
It's late. It's late. Yeah. You want to make sure that you make a good impression. You're going to want to go to the barber. You're going to need some new clothes.
You're right. My
This is a
mustache
once
is
in
getting
a
a little
lifetime
frizzy.
opportunity, my friend.
You're right. I mean, they're heroes. I mean, I'm Mount Pelnor is in the Silver Mountains, so like, you know,
Obviously.
yeah. Oh, they're national heroes. This is my okay. Okay. Do you have a calling card of somewhere I can reach you?
Calling.
Or a place where do you want to meet?
We'll reach out to you, my friend.
Okay. Well. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Hold on. Let me tell you where I'm staying. And he's like, barkeep, I need a piece of paper. And the barkeep, give me a minute. And he comes over and he takes an old piece of receipt paper and a pencil and gives it to him. And then he quickly scrawls down in Dwarvish where he lives and gives it to you. And you cannot read it.
Yeah. Perfect. I'm gonna hold on to this, buddy.
Absolutely. Yeah. You call on me whenever, and I'll be happy to. Yeah, we're good. If you can introduce me to the Silver Mount 4, guys, this guy's gonna introduce me to the Silver Mounts. Yeah. No. All right. You're fine. You're fine.
We're out of here. We're gone. We've already moved on.
That was buck wild.
Geppetto is nowhere in sight. Geppetto. His name is
That's son of a bitch.
Geppetto. Hold on, I think I know where I can find him. Eldorian brings you out of this bar and sort of climbs up to the space between the 2 feet of this giant statue, and right there, Geppetto is sort of lounging, hiding, like basically hiding in a way that they're trying to seem like it's casual, not necessarily doing a good job. And Geppetto says, "So, everything work out all right in there? Everything okay? Took care of
I
everything?"
crack my knuckles real loud.
Listen, I'll pay you back. Obviously, I just I forgot my wallet at home. You know how it goes. And I haven't had a lot of work lately. So, but I got cases coming in every day. Every day I got a whole drawer of cases I just this close to cracking. So, I'm actually pretty busy. Now that I think about it, I should probably get back to that. So I'll go. Yeah.
I'm gonna look at
we have web for you. Oh, well. Sorry. If you have work, yeah. How about I'll do this one pro bono, because you scratch my back, I scratch your. Yeah. Well, I'll do it at a discount.
This guy's no good.
I'm giving Eldarian like the biggest like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is your guy.
And Eldorian just says, I know what he seems like, but he's good. Geppetto, this is my friend and associate, Brief. Yeah. He's one of your part of your team. Yeah. You guys. You guys are changing the game. Really interesting stuff that you guys are doing in the old dungeons, Oh, what do you need? Jeb, we need you to keep tabs on someone for us. Yeah, just what, a follow job like that the dwarf chick you were so interested in, something like that. Her again? No, you don't have to worry about her anymore. I'm no longer interested in anything to do with her, so you can just forget about that. No, this is going to be a little trickier. There are kind of two people we want to sort of know the whereabouts of. Two people. I mean, it's a bigger job. It's going to cost more. It's fine. We'll pay. All right. Gebetto looks at Breve and says, "So, who are these? Who do you want me to tail?"
I don't remember their names, Josh. I'm sorry.
It's Varix, the Midnight
Yep.
Man, and Liramir Greencoat.
Okay, I say those things.
Those are the things.
Gebetto's eyes go wide, and he says, "You want me to follow both of those people?
A real sword?
A real sword? What kind of sword? $100."
And I look at Eldorian. I knew he couldn't do it. We got to find someone who's
I can do it. I can. Eldorian, where'd you find this guy? I mean, he doesn't know anything, does he? He's an idiot. I'm sorry. No. Not taken, obviously. We're having fun. Obviously. No, I can do it. I can do it. Like, I can do it. But it's gonna be expensive. It's gonna be expensive. That's all it's gonna take. It's gonna cost some gold. It's gonna cost a few gold. I'm gonna need some money up front. Is all. So I don't know. This is a high risk operation you're asking me to do. I mean, I'm a professional. I'm very good at what I do. They're not going to see me coming. If we're doing this, I got to calculate. Up front, I'm going to need like 10. There's going to be 10 gold. This is, like I said, this is dangerous. I could die. I don't want to die. I have a business. I got a family to support. I got, a dog. Okay, I don't have a dog, but I'd like to have a dog. And if you pay me well for this, I'll get myself a dog. Yeah, that'd be nice. I could write that down. Yeah.
All right. So if we get you
a dog,
call it even.
Yeah, I 10 pieces of gold. Hold on, Breve. How much money do you have?
I do have a hellhound.
You wouldn't give away Sparky.
You have a.
Too often.
Wait, are you going to give away your dog?
No. What do I have? I've got
your dog for
my first Ruby.
He does want a dog.
Doesn't want a dog. I don't know if I'd trust him with my dog.
No, I mean he's a puppy and also maybe a demon. I don't know. I've been meaning to talk to you about that dog another time. I have 7 gold on me right now.
Yeah. I've got this ruby that might be cursed.
Oh, let's give him that.
Yeah. Okay.
No, ruby's about 10. Yeah. No, just give him ruby. Okay.
A nice bag to come with it.
So we don't have gold per se, but what we do have is a very valuable ruby. Very valuable. Very good.
Completely normal.
Completely regular. Hold on. Breve, do we really want to give this? I mean, we want him to not get caught.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Right. This might not be his best plan.
I might have a little bit of the tiara left that I was feeding to the jewel crab.
And you pull out the tiara, and there's about 2/3 of it left. And you just see a slightly bigger and sort of silver speckled, platinum speckled jewel crab, sort of just hanging off of it.
Yeah. I just tickle him a little bit. All right, little Julie, I'll get you some more, I promise.
Julie.
And the jewel crab sort of unlatches and climbs back into your pouch. And you hand you hand over this, and he says, what is this? I mean,
it's worth a lot more than 10 gold. I promise you that.
I mean, this is platinum. Wow. I mean, it's a little beat up, but the pieces are. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, this'll. And I'll have to melt it down. These are black. Yeah, it's a black sapphire. Jesus.
The jeweler.
I'm gonna give him the jeweler's name if he wants to try to pawn it.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I heard of that guy. You get a good deal from him?
Nah, he might buy it. He might be interested in something like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you got yourself a deal. And he spits on his hand and he holds it up to you.
I spit on his hand too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get you that information. I'm gonna need like a week, and I'll get back to you in about a week.
7 days.
I'll have something for you. I promise. I will tell you where they are and what they're up to. All right. So should we meet you here in a week? Yeah, here's my spot. So yeah, I'll keep tabs on them. I promise you, I will follow them to the ends of the earth if I need to. Hopefully, I don't. But obviously, if I have to travel to the end of the earth, it's going to incur some travel fees in the second half of this transaction. This was just the first half of the transaction. More upon we'll discuss the rest of it later. Depending on costs, fees, and etc. Don't worry about it. Of course. So I believe, like I said, Gebetto is uncouth, but he's the best at doing this one thing and nothing else. And the lady's right. I'm very good at following people without them seeing me and listening to what they say. I am not so good at all the other things, but luckily, I have a means of supporting myself. I wonder where to buy a dog. Hey, what's that? and surprisingly, both of you look around to see what Gebetto is pointing at, and then when you look back, Gebetto's gone.
Perfect. I just look at Eldarian. I really hope he doesn't blow this.
I think, honestly, he's very good. He's just, not a good person. So, he's good. He's not going to blow this. And if he does, we just won't pay him anymore.
We'll give him the ruby.
He doesn't know, why. Should be fine. Breve, do you trust me at this point now?
Lorraine, I know that you've withheld a lot of stuff from us, but it's in my nature to trust people. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
I know you've withheld some stuff from us, and I can understand why, but it's in my nature to trust people, and I think you're good at heart, and I've never stopped trusting you.
All right, well, I trust his skill. So I may not trust his, personality, but I trust that when he sets out to do a job, he does it the way he said he's going to do it. He's not going to tell them about, it would be bad for his reputation if he were to, somehow sabotage this or get caught. So I believe he's going to do the job we paid him to do. I believe he's going to ask for a lot more money next time we see him. But, one thing he is reliable. He's reliably terrible, but reliable. And honestly, when it comes to a private investigator, that's really all you can hope for is reliability. That's what I found, at least, and I've gone through a few. I don't want to talk about that. It's embarrassing. Anyway, I'm going to go home because it's super late. But, you know, you can come with me or do whatever. But I'm going to go get some sleep because got a lot of work to do.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Eldorian. I think if nothing else, you know, we can't know less than we know now. So I think every little bit's going to help. I'm going to go see if Caleb wants a nightcap.
All right. And for the last, now it's 9 o'clock. I wanted to, before we, since the next time we meet, which is actually going to be not next week, because I'll be having a little party next week.
Oh.
So not going to be available.
I have my concert next week.
But what?
So that actually works out. I'm playing in an orchestra concert next weekend.
Oh, cool. Neat. So yeah, that works out great then. So the week after next, weekend of the 29th, will be our next session, and that will be the first session of the dungeon. So considering that, I wanted to find out if you guys were if there's anything else that you need to do in terms of errand wise. We don't have to role play it, we can just say what we did, so and like do some rolls to make it happen real quick before we finish today. So Breve, we can say that you've picked up your arrows. You now have them in your inventory.
Awesome.
I will give you the stats for those. There were 3, right? You got 3 of those arrows.
I don't have it written down, and it wasn't a lot. Yeah, it was just a few.
I think it was 3.
You're fancy.
Yeah, these are very fancy arrows. Nix, and was there anything else you wanted to? Here, I'll start with Brave, and I'll go in alphabetical order.
The only other thing are my shoes, my flip flops from the cobbler.
Right. Yes. Okay. So
I think they were just getting a tune-up, but maybe there's extra bonus stuff he added. I don't know. Maybe.
I think I'll take it back on you on that. I'll probably just message you about that because I have to figure out the stats for that. But yeah, we're probably gonna tune them up a little bit, make them a little more interesting. Giving those flip-flops to that cobbler allowed you to actually keep them. Pretty sneaky.
Well, I got those well before Callista.
Did you? Did we get the shoes? I thought we got the shoes from Callista. Yeah, those were definitely from Callista.
I got the Nar cloak, but I don't think I got the flip-flops from her. I think
we
I got them.
all got shoes and.
Yeah, no, there was we like Grom got his kicks.
His kicks, yeah. Mona got sneakers, yeah.
I got sneaks.
Oh, they were from her?
Yep.
Yeah, they were.
I assumed we got them from Fantasy Costco or something.
Nope, those were a sponsor item.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, I guess I sneakily dodged that one.
Good job.
Totally on accident.
I'll allow that because it's clever. Okay. So I'm gonna get you stats for these sort of improved flip-flops. Is there anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Moana.
I'm good.
Nothing else? No research you want to do for the next dungeon?
I already did a bunch of research in general with the cartographer.
That's true.
And I know that was from Nova, but I feel like I'm okay with what I know.
Okay, so you don't want to know about this specific dungeon.
The way you're asking it makes me feel like I should.
I mean, I have stuff for you if you did some research, but you don't need it. But I would love stuff for you. You do have to roll for it.
Okay.
So do you want to go back to the cartographer and see if she has anything? Or do you want to try to do research like at a library?
Let's do the library.
Okay.
And,
Roll a investigation check.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Real quick. I had wanted to have NIGH offer to like try and research the next dungeon with Moana.
Right. Yeah, you can combine your rolls.
Cool.
Yeah, I was just wondering if I could like give her advantage on her search if we.
Yeah, for sure. Which of you has higher investigation?
Fine question.
Probably
Probably
NIGH.
Moana.
Is it? What's
I
your
haven't thought.
investigation?
Mine's plus 10.
Okay, that's pretty high.
I'm sorry?
He's got special glasses.
That's not why.
Oh, okay. Right. Oh, right. Because you just got special.
Because I'm just real good at
Really
investigating.
good. Yeah, it's really good at investigating. Okay. So I'm actually going to have NIGH roll to investigate, but Moana will give NIGH advantage because I want to give you the best chance you got.
Sounds good.
Yeah, no, it's because of like my bard junk.
Yeah, it's hard.
Oh heck. How's a 29 sound to you?
Yeah, that'll do it. So for 29, I'm gonna give you a map.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I had a few options for like information that I could give you, but
Why don't we do it?
I'm gonna straight up give you the map.
Nice.
So I'm gonna drop that in the Facebook. Here, I'll actually post it.
Put it in the messenger.
Teamwork.
Yeah, I'll put it in Messenger. That's the way I'll do it. Got a photo.
With that 29, can we ask you any more like questions about this dungeon?
Yeah, ask some more questions, and I'll tell you what you can get with them.
So I don't like NIGH doesn't know shit about machines.
Yeah.
So like I think he would for one want to know like what this factory is supposed to be building.
Okay. So the factory was supposed to be building an army. It not only was run by automatons. This king had a dream of creating an automaton army, the Golden Army. Hellboy.
Hang on.
Is the plot of Hellboy. No, an automaton army of magic, basically magic automatons that would obey his commands and go to war for him. It didn't work out. He was stopped. Thank goodness.
Good.
So, considering that, sorry, I'm just making sure this is the one I want. Okay. Should load okay. And this is just the basic layout of the map without too much by way of details. But I can answer some questions about it. But yeah, so he was building an army of automata.
Okay. Well, yeah, that'll probably come up, I bet, huh?
It's a PDF. I don't know if it's actually gonna. It should load. It might just take a minute because I put a PDF into the chat, not thinking that would be a bigger file.
Oh, well,
that was my mistake. It should be fine, but it's a map.
Q,
I'll show you what it looks like.
Do you have more specific questions about the dungeon, Q?
I do not.
Yeah, that was like the main thing I wanted to find out.
Like thought about it for longer than just now, maybe, but.
This is really funny. I thought I was
You guys
gonna.
got a 29, so I can tell you. You can ask like what sort of things you need to be prepared for.
Yeah,
what
I mean,
sort of things are you prepared for?
Well, I'll tell you. So this is a factory, and you're able to read a little bit about technologies that were being innovated at that time. And many of them were using hitherto, and Aldorian kind of mentioned this before. They were experimenting with like electricity, which is a method that really hasn't been mastered since then. Like circuitry and steam power, combination of all of those. So hot steam and electricity are possibly things you have to worry about. So we did mention that before.
Yeah, that we knew.
But keep that in mind. Also,
Steampunk Dungeon.
Yeah, basically a steampunk dungeon. Also, there are a lot of tight spaces. So you have to be prepared to sort of squeeze through tight spaces. I'm just forgetting how much I told you before.
I have a.
So it looks like this is what the map looks like.
I have a potion that's either a potion of growth or shrinking. We don't know which. This is a great dungeon to find out.
For real. So that's what the map looks like.
Oh, cool.
And I will tell you another extra thing. This center bit is a machine. Basically, it is a series of rotating, giant rotating gears that are suspended. So that's something to be aware of and prepared for. Also, there are several areas in these things here. These sort of spaces here are vaults. They are basically they are part of the machine. They are places where fabrication is done, but when the machine is inactive, basically they can be opened and closed and locked pretty tight. So if you can find one that is like safe to be in, it may be a good place to hide out if you need to rest. So keep that in mind. These guys, in this crazy tubing.
Right.
And over here, there are conveyor belts.
Oh, fun.
So those are things to be aware of.
It's another Pokemon gym.
Yeah, for sure.
So with that, but bear in mind the 29 that Nick rolled.
Yeah.
Could we get a Marauder's map style piece of magic that will show us the location of all of our enemies at any point in time?
No, you cannot.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask.
That's fair. What I can do is, and I'll have to mark this off later, but I think you know the location of some interesting like areas in the map. Some cool spots I'll mark off, and some potentially dangerous spots.
Cool.
And also, you learn a little bit about the mechanics of fabrication machines and how they're very finely tuned, and they tend to, if they're not fully built, they tend to act up. And you actually find a passage, an interesting passage about how when these machines were being built, they were fraught with malfunctions, even the smaller ones. So there was a variety of sizes that these machines could be. But they tended to sort of, the larger ones tended to sort of one every sort of 10 times they would probably even more than that, like one in every 5 times they would malfunction and become sort of death traps. And they found that these machines could be kept running if they had automatons working on them. Specifically because the automatons were not just because the automatons could work and not be injured, but because of the complex sort of clockwork of the automatons. For some reason, if there was an automaton working on it, it was more likely that the more complex automaton would malfunction rather than the machines. it was almost like they would add an extra automaton in there with even more sort of. They realized the more Byzantine and the sort of gully works of the automata that they were having work on there, the more likely the machine would work, which was a weird discovery that they made.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. It was almost like something was causing it to malfunction. What?
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 Mysteries.
The machine alive?
It's like there's a ghost in the
Is there a
machine.
ghost in it?
Is there a wait? Is there a ghost in this machine? This dungeon will end with the Deus Ex Machina.
So, if with that information, and you said you're going to mark off some notable areas on the map, so I feel pretty satisfied.
Oh, this is also important. This map is there are parts that are not on this map, but there is information that there were some of the ventilation and some of sort of the runoff areas went a little deeper. There were sort of deeper parts of this map. So this was all pretty much on one plane, but there are sort of places in this machine where there are access to lower chambers. And those lower chambers, you recently learned about this, are inside of they are past the rapture mark.
Okay.
Yeah, so something to keep in mind.
Yes.
But those are not marked off on the map. You weren't able to find where those are. But you do know that there are some places where the chambers that are below the rapture mark are accessible. This is a very deep dungeon. It's just like right on top of the rapture mark.
Okay, cool.
And our only goal is just.
Your goal is to survive, and not to be knocked out before the end of the time.
I have but one further ask.
Yeah.
And it's not even about the dungeon. It would just be a thing I would want to ask Amthorian, because she'd probably know this. At least most of it. She might not know one part of it. I wanted to ask her for the party makeup of the Ogulakanu.
Party
The
makeup.
party makeup of the Ogulakanu. Yes.
Yeah, just like what they've got on their team.
Style.
Hold on, let me look at that real quick.
Also, does she know what Ogulakanu means? And if not, can I find that out?
Good question.
Man, you're really making me imagine stuff.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Ogulakanu means. Hold on, let me get their makeup first. Building. Grass teams. Rolling down.
Didn't we like almost pick these jerks over the heroes at one point?
Almost.
That would have been incorrect.
So the team is made up of obviously 4 people, and they don't have an Aasimar anymore. So you're actually up against 4 people because the Aasimar was reclaimed.
Idiots.
There is they have a barbarian, Kothok, Earthshaker. They have the Tree Speaker, who is a druid. Tree Speaker does not have a name. He's just called the Tree Speaker. There's Kavanati, Little Hunter, who is the ranger. And then there's a cleric called Fire Speaker Vonea.
Okay.
So they have a cleric, a ranger, a druid, and a barbarian.
Okay.
And they are the Ogalakanu means last people of the sky.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
And that is what you have to look forward to.
That. Okay.
Would you like to see what they look like?
I'm fairly sure I've seen them before.
I mean, you probably have.
Refresher.
Okay. Here.
Can't hurt. I know that they look real cool. I remember that.
Yeah, they do. For sure. Defo look cool. Really. I'm going to put it in the chat. In the Facebook chat.
Like cool, but also like a bunch of jerks.
I mean, like, only jerks because you're up against them. They're probably nice. You know, when they're amongst, you know, their own community, where they don't feel like they've been oppressed. You know how it goes.
I'm guessing that's the barbarian.
That's Kothok, the barbarian. Kothak, who is called Earthshaker.
Cool.
He looks like he just smelled something bad. The way he's crinkling his nose.
No, he just looked at you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's how he is. That's how he
Free
That's
speaker.
free speaker. You got it.
2 for 2. That's a really, really cool drawing.
It is a really cool drawing. You're right.
I want to know where that came from.
Me too. I should look it up again. You guess who that is?
I'm gonna guess that's the ranger.
You got it. 3 for
Little
3.
killer.
3 for 3.
Little killer.
Her name is Covenanti, who is called Little Hunter.
Little hunters.
Shorter shooty.
What?
Shooty.
Shooty shooty? The short shooter?
Short
Short. The short shooter.
And that
All small shoots.
fire speaker.
Oh, small shooter.
Oh, she's so spooky.
Yeah, well, she is a
Be spooky.
Goliath cleric,
Yeah.
and that's who you're up against.
Okay.
Those 4 cool guys.
Yeah.
They're all
Well, really nice
sort of-
knowing you all.
The smallest one is 8 foot tall.
Good God.
She's short for Goliaths. They're usually closer to 10. She's actually more like 8.5 feet, probably, now that I think about it. Yeah, they're all like 10 feet tall. They're enormous. They're going to have trouble. That's actually something of an advantage because there's a lot of tight spots in this dungeon.
Yeah.
They're going to have some trouble with those.
Like I think one of our biggest advantages going up against this group is going to be that like they are going to have trouble not being cut off in certain spots.
But they do have a druid, so that's something to look out for.
We have one of those.
That's true. I just mean that the druid can get into tight spots, probably, maybe.
We have one of those who doesn't really turn into animals ever, but we have one. Saying.
Well, yeah. Oh well. Now at least her hands turn into animals.
As long as some part of her does.
All right. And that's the session. I would say.
We did it.
Next time we meet, we be in that dungeon.
All up in that dungeon.
All up in that dungeon.
Okay.
Oh.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Have a fun party next
And
weekend.
have a great day to those down under.
Thank you.
Down even further under.
Way
Yes.
down under.
Way
Enjoy-
down under there.
Enjoy
Really
your Sunday, mini Australia.
No, that's Tanzania, is what you're thinking of.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tasmania. Tanzania is in Africa. Fuck.
Tasmania. We all got it wrong. We all got it wrong.
That's true. I could have not said anything. You would have been like, yeah, you're right. Tanzania in Australia.
No. I think in an hour we all would have been like,
God.
we all look like idiots.
now
Right.
the Tasmanian people won't respect us.
Well, they're all a bunch of devils.
Wait, what?
It's been.
Yeah.
That's what everyone
Yep.
in Tasmania looks like, right? They look like cats.
Pretty
Pretty
much.
sure.
Well, you guys would know better than I would, so you're closer.
All we have to do is look across the Tasman Sea and we see just a whole bunch of
Yeah, it's like-
small tornadoes.
Well,
It's all just small tornadoes. That's how we know. That's how we know which direction is Tasmania.
right, of course.
Uh-huh.
If you see the tornadoes, you've gone too far.
You've gone too far. That's how the
Right.
penguins navigate.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it checks out.
All right.
All I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Yep.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night and
Bye.
have a good day.
Have a good night and day. Later. It's gonna be a fun dungeon, I think. A fungeon.
I feel like you've been planning the factory dungeon for like 3 dungeons now.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I've gone through a lot of different iterations of it. I had like a portal idea originally, where you were going to be up against like a artificial intelligence. But I realized that would be really hard to like basically because I'd want it to be like, one, it would be too much like Portal. 1. 2, it would be, I would have to move a lot of pieces around, and that would be very difficult to do in this format.
Yeah.
So I decided against that. I decided to have a fixed map, and I decided that there would be a chance of you getting the map, which you did.
Yeah.
But that's not as important as, you know, how you decide to use the knowledge of that map. Also,
Right. I mean, it's very branchy. So.
I will be making you guys navigate with the map I've given you. So I will only give like, if you're in a battle, I will show you where you are in that general space. But you will have to sort of plot out where you are on the map and figure out where you are on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can't like go, we want to go this way. You have to be like, I'm turning right, I'm turning left. You know, I mean, you could show me on the map, but you have to be the one actually showing where you're going. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I might do that. I might like have the map up on my screen so that I can mark where we're going.
But yeah, and then I had the idea that it was going to be like the most dangerous game style, and that was a fun addition. And I thought, I was actually debating whether or not to do the factory dungeon this time or another time, but I thought that would be a very cool like 80s style environment to have this all happen in. You ever notice that, like in 80s movies, like action movies, action sci-fi movies, there's always like a final confrontation in an old factory?
Yeah, that was a big.
Yeah. I think there were just a lot of factories that were available in sort of California.
Highlander.
Yeah.
Footloose.
See what I mean? I mean, Highlander's definitely the standout. Like, why were they in that factory? But Terminator also. Every Terminator movie ends in a factory. That's true. Shit.
That is
true. Every Terminator movie ends in a factory.
I mean, that's just because they're doing the whole, like, machine versus man.
Yeah, I mean, like, it presents a metaphorical backdrop that makes some sense and gives plenty of opportunities for there to be big barrels of molten metal to drop robots into. Like, I get it. Big smelting pots.
Here's my question about factories in the 80s action movies, though.
Yeah.
Why are the factories always running but completely unpopulated?
That's true. They're always happening. Like, stuff's always being done there. All of the dangerous, like, molten metals and like machines going and sparks flying off of stuff, they're always fully active. But yeah, there's not a single, like, machinist in the joint.
It's very weird.
That is weird because, like, that's really dangerous. Those machines aren't supposed.
That factory was gonna burn down like an hour after this conflict happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've been breaking the machines and stuff the whole time. Like, there's nobody supervising this factory. There should be people there in hard hats looking around, making sure nothing's, because, like, factories are dangerous. Where's the OSHA regulations?
All right. I'm going to go.
All right.
And I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
And I'm sorry that I probably won't see you next week.
I know. We should hang out very soon
soon
to make up for that.
Yeah.
I wanted to, honestly, I've been wanting to hang out with you one-on-one sometime anyway. I've been like, I got a hankering for tag hangouts.
Weird.
Yeah, well.
Normally that's the opposite response.
Yeah, well. I'm a weirdo, okay? I'm weird. I don't want to fit in.
All right. Well, I will talk to you soon.
Okay. Have a good night.
You too.